Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com the second week of December 2022. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Sports writer Grant Wahl died December 10, 2022 in Lusail, Qatar. He died of an aortic aneurysm rupture at the age of 49. He covered soccer and college basketball for Sports Illustrated for more than 2 decades, reporting on many NCAA basketball tournaments and World Cups. Wahl is being remembered not only as an influential soccer expert, but also as one of the most colorful and engaging sports writers of our time. Football coach Mike Leach died December 12, 2022, of complications due to a heart condition at the age of 61. He was the current head coach at Mississippi State University and had also coached at universities including Texas Tech and Washington State. Leach is being remembered for his innovative air raid offense and for being Texas Tech's all-time winningest coach. World War II veteran Johnny Johnson died November 30, 2022, at a care home in Bristol, England, at the age of 101. He joined the Royal Air Force as an air gunner in 1940. He was the last surviving airman who took part in the morale-boosting Dambuster raid in 1943, in which German dams were destroyed by British bombers. Johnson is also being remembered as a teacher, his career after 22 years of service in the military. Actress Helen Slayton-Hughes died December 8, 2022, at the age of 92. She was best known for her role on the sitcom Parks and Recreation as court stenographer Ethel Beavers. Slayton-Hughes is also being remembered for appearances on TV shows including The West Wing, True Blood, and New Girl. Ad executive and composer George Newall died November 30, 2022, at a hospital in New York. He died of cardiopulmonary arrest at the age of 88. He was the co-creator of Schoolhouse Rock, the unforgettable series of educational cartoons set to rock music from the 1970s and 80s. He is being remembered for writing songs for Schoolhouse Rock, including Unpack Your Adjectives and The Energy Blues. Newall was a U.S. Army veteran who served for 2 years in the 1950s. Fashion editor Jule Campbell died in Flemington, New Jersey on November 19, 2022. She died of complications from pneumonia at the age of 96. She was the driving force behind the annual Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Issue. She created the concept in its early years and continued to head it up for more than 3 decades. Campbell is being remembered for creating an American icon that helped launch the careers of supermodels. Actress June Blair died December 4, 2022, in Canoga Park, California, at the age of 89. She was a star of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, joining the cast after marrying one of its stars, David Nelson. Blair is also being remembered as a popular pin-up model who was a Playboy Playmate of the Month in 1957. Colonel Joseph Kittinger died December 9, 2022, of lung cancer at the age of 94. A U.S. Air Force command pilot, he was an aviation pioneer as part of Project Excelsior, researching high-altitude parachute bailouts. He is being remembered for the record-setting 4-minute, 36-second free fall he made when he parachuted from 102,800 feet. Kittinger served in the Air Force from 1949 to 1978. Activist Dorothy Pitman Hughes died December 1, 2022, at her daughter's home in Tampa, Florida, at the age of 84. She was a prominent feminist of the 1970s who worked to provide child care for working mothers and shelter for battered women, and she co-founded Ms. Magazine with Gloria Steinem. Pitman Hughes is being remembered for an iconic photograph featuring her and Steinem with their fists raised in solidarity. Singer and actress Georgia Holt died in December 2022 at the age of 96. She made appearances on TV shows including I Love Lucy and The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, as well as recording music with Elvis Presley's band. Holt is being remembered as the mother of Cher, with whom she worked on the documentary Dear Mom, Love Cher. Author Marijane Meaker died November 21, 2022, at her home in Springs, New York. She died of cardiopulmonary arrest at the age of 95. She wrote under several pen names, including M.E. Kerr, publishing award-winning young adult literature such as Dinky Hocker Shoot Smack. Meaker is also being remembered for her pioneering lesbian pulp novels, written under the pseudonym Vin Packer. Basketball player and coach Paul Silas died December 10, 2022, of cardiac arrest at the age of 79. He was a three-time NBA champion, twice with the Boston Celtics and once with the Seattle Supersonics. Silas is also being remembered as a coach for teams including the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he was LeBron James's first NBA head coach. Sculptor Richard Miller died December 8, 2022, at his home in Northern California at the age of 80. He worked with George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic for decades, building iconic movie props including Princess Leia's gold bikini from Return of the Jedi. Miller is also being remembered for creating props including Davy Jones's tentacled beard from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Composer Angelo Badalamenti died December 11, 2022, at the age of 85. He was best known for writing the scores for the films and TV shows of David Lynch, especially for Twin Peaks, but also for films including Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive. Badalamenti is also being remembered for his collaborations with musicians including David Bowie and the Pet Shop Boys. Philanthropist Abigail Kawānanakoa died December 11, 2022, at her home at the age of 96. She was a descendant of Hawaiian royalty who was called Hawaii's last princess. Kawānanakoa is being remembered for her support of native Hawaiian culture and her work as a champion horse breeder. Actor Stuart Margolin died December 12, 2022, of natural causes at the age of 82. He was best known for his Emmy Award-winning performance on The Rockford Files as conman Evelyn Angel Martin. Margolin is also being remembered for roles on TV shows including MASH, Brett Maverick, and Gunsmoke, as well as in the movie Death Wish. Rapper Grand Daddy I.U. died December 13, 2022, at the age of 54. Discovered by Biz Markie, he had hip-hop hits in the 90s, including Something New and Sugar Free. Grand Daddy I.U. is also being remembered as a producer who worked with artists including KRS-One and Ice-T. Frances Hesselbein died December 11, 2022, at her home in Easton, Pennsylvania, at the age of 107. She was the CEO of the Girl Scouts of the USA in the 1970s and 80s, ushering in new initiatives including letting younger girls join. Hesselbein is being remembered for her strong leadership skills, which she shared as she mentored new generations of leaders. Singer J.J. Barnes died December 10, 2022, at the age of 79. He had soul hits, including 1967's Baby Please Come Back Home and Chains of Love. Barnes is also being remembered as a songwriter for Motown Records. Dancer and TV personality Stephen Twitch Boss died December 13, 2022, by suicide at the age of 40. Audiences fell in love with his dancing when he competed on So You Think You Can Dance. Later, he came back to the show as a judge. Boss is also being remembered as the DJ on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Hawaii have been lowered to honor the memory of Princess Abigail Kawānanakoa. Flags in Kentucky have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Army Private First Class Robert A. Wright. He was killed in the Korean War, and his remains were recently identified and returned home for burial. Flags in Illinois have been lowered to honor the memory of State Senator Scott Bennett. Flags in Connecticut have been lowered to honor the memory of the 20 children and 6 adults who were killed 10 years ago in the tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown. Flags in Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of State House Delegate Ronnie Campbell. This week also marks several notable anniversaries. 10 years ago this week, musician Ravi Shankar died at the age of 92. A virtuoso of the sitar, he helped bring Indian music to the West through his work with George Harrison. 15 years ago this week, musician Dan Fogelberg died at the age of 56. His beloved hit songs included Same Old Lang Syne and Leader of the Band. 55 years ago this week, singer and songwriter Otis Redding died at the age of 26. He was called the King of Soul, with enduring hits including Try a Little Tenderness and Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. Actor Michael Clarke Duncan was born 65 years ago this week. He died in 2012 at the age of 54. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in The Green Mile. Musician Charlie Rich was born 90 years ago this week. He died in 1995 at the age of 62. His country music chart toppers include Behind Closed Doors and The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.